Okay, hey everyone, how's it going? I think everything here is good. I'm going to double check everything. My audio levels look good. Hopefully audio sounds okay here. I have made some changes since our last live stream, and I think I fixed the issue that we were having before. So let me know if audio sounds okay. Let me know if we hear any popping or crackling. I'd like to fix that as quickly as possible. Okay, looks and sounds good. Everybody's giving me the thumbs up here. Thank you to everybody who has joined this morning. Super appreciate it. We've got some viewers over in both Twitch and on YouTube. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining today. We're going to be talking about Twingate during this live stream. This is a sponsored live stream, like it should have shown up on the screen. When you joined, it should have said something about sponsored content. If it didn't, it should have. I'm gonna do this real quick, right there. So we've got this little pop-up right there that says, "Hey, this is sponsored." That's gonna pop up about every 3 minutes, and it's gonna be there for. Mindbender, you're going to get yourself in trouble. But no, this should pop up about every 3 minutes, just as a regular reminder that this is a sponsored video. They are paying me to talk about this. That said, I wouldn't talk about this if I didn't actually think it was a good product. I absolutely wouldn't. I'm not going to do that. If I don't like a product, I will decline it. If I don't like a service, I will decline it. I always have, I always will. That's just how it is. And yeah, so in this video, here in a little bit, we're gonna get settled in first, make sure everybody's here, make sure everybody's engaging, everything's working well. Then we're gonna talk about Twingate and how it might be the solution you're looking for remote access. And there was a question earlier when we first started this. Let me come all of the way back up. Let's actually just start at the top. Mr. Grey Wolf, thank you for joining. Mindben, thanks for being here. Appreciate you being here. Optimus Prime asks a question. Will these tunnels work for video streaming? Problems with bandwidth? Question marks after both of those. I have actually seen, I believe I've seen somewhere in their documentation where they actually talk about how to use this with Plex. So there you go. Definitely be sure to dig through those resources. I'm actually going to take a quick look. We're gonna look up. I know you can't see my desktop. That's on purpose. But here we go. Right. Just a quick little glance here. This is from their official blog. This is twingate.com/blog, and how to remote access Plex on Windows without port forwarding. So that said, this shouldn't be an issue if that's what you're trying to do, trying to remote access your Plex instance. Twingate may be the solution you were looking for. So, good question. Great way to start the stream here. Collins, thanks for joining. Appreciate you being here. Collins is actually going to help me out with some stuff later. Devender Mato says, yes, audio is okay. Great. Bill Hicks, thanks for joining. PMX, glad to have you here again. Alexia, yay, you're here. That's awesome. Glad to have you. Let's keep scrolling just to make sure. D says, hey, thanks for joining. Appreciate you being here again. Always love seeing familiar faces. Got more Collins, more Hicks. Someone has their breakfast. I'm having my dinner. Aren't time zones crazy? Like, it's just everybody all over the world experiencing a different part of their day. It's always been kind of one of those little mind benders for me. I understand it rationally. Like, I have been to multiple different time zones, but still, it's just weird that some people are so in different parts of their day. Twingate versus Pangolin. They are different products. I mean, they kind of do the same thing, but they're different products. Let's see. Mr. Grey Wolf says, I'm looking forward to this. I'm currently cobbling Twingate and Tailscale together to make things work between home and work. I know I've messed something up. I don't know why you would use both together. That seems like an interesting choice. Mindband, DB, Jellyfin, kind of like the free stuff. What else can access? We'll talk about that. We will talk about the different things you can do with this. We'll do some testing with some different things. Yeah. All right. Cool. I think we're all caught up there. We've had some things going on over here, some subscriptions over on Twitch. Thank you very much for that. So this is similar to Tailscale, yes and no. There are some things about it that are very similar, but there are some things that are different that I used Tailscale for a long time, and Zero Tier. I've used both of those, but there were things about them that, while I liked their ability to remote access the apps that I was giving them access to, there are things about this that take that to a different level, that I really do appreciate with Twingate. It's a very cool product, and I'm excited to share this with you. Akshay says, what is the advantage to using Twingate over traditional VPN like OpenVPN, WireGuard, etc.? It's a different process. There are some similarities to them, but when we get actually into looking at the website and deploying the app and giving myself access on my phone, which will be disconnected from my Wi-Fi when we get to that point. I've also got a Discord mod who's going to be jumping in kind of remotely, and he's going to be playing around with my DumbPad instance later, just to show you how quickly and easily you can get this set up. So that's kind of what's going on there. So definitely be sure to check this out. We'll be going through a bunch of stuff during this live stream. So at this point, I just want to make sure that we're settled in. I want to make sure everything is working. And then we'll take a couple of minutes here. We'll chat a little bit longer, and then we'll jump into this. Also, I believe that at some point, if they're not here already, Eric from Twingate will be at least in the chat, answering questions and participating that way. So yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff going on here. I'm excited about Twingate, and I hope by the end of this you will be too. Hey, there's Eric at Twingate. Yay, thanks, Eric. Glad to have you here. Bill says, I knew Tailscale has some issues with video throttling and whatnot. Yep, that doesn't surprise me. That is not their shtick at all. I know Cloudflare is very similar to that. They don't want you running you running your media servers through all of their stuff. So they will do things like throttle and that sort of thing. But like we showed a moment ago, Twingate actually has a blog post about how to remotely access your Plex instance with the Twingate service. So very, very cool stuff. Very cool stuff with Twingate here. So a little drink of coffee. It's not an endorsement or anything, but this is like cherry bourbon infused. Like there's no alcohol in it, but it's cherry bourbon infused coffee. It's so good. Just got it yesterday, trying it for the first time today. So good. Oops, I need to turn that down. All right. Steve Gold says, good day from the Austin area. Glad to have you here. You're just a few hours south of me from here in Colorado. Mindbend says, DB, what chat do you monitor more, this, YouTube, or what? So I've actually got, I'm using a third-party service called Ground Control from Steam Labs. I'm actually looking at it right now while I'm looking at you. It's in my Elgato teleprompter, and it pulls in chat from both YouTube and Twitch, because that's what I've told it to do. That said, sometimes it's a little slow to pull things up. So I'm going to try to monitor it here. If there's something that I miss that it's important, I periodically do check over here as well. I've got my YouTube chat and my Twitch chat over in a separate window on this side of me, so that I can periodically check and make sure that everything is lining up appropriately. So I'm actively monitoring both here, but sometimes Ground Control does have little hiccups. Devender says, I hope this product works without Cloudflare Tunnel. It absolutely does. This is its own separate thing. Yeah, the coffee is really good, Bill. I agree. And Savag says, greetings. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you being here. Let me make sure I haven't missed anything. Everything appears to be lining up. Yeah. Everything that I'm seeing here has been seen there. I think we're good. I think because I started Ground Control, I opened it up like 10 minutes before I pushed go live on the Meld Studio app that I'm using. That I think it finally caught up appropriately. That's a good question too. We've got a question here. What is the link to Twitch? It's right there. There is Twitch there for you if you want to check that out. Thank you for asking. I need to have my bot like auto do that stuff. I'm still trying to get some of the little minutiaes out of the way when I'm doing this stuff. And eventually I will get to that. But it is what it is. I'm glad that everybody's here. We've got again. We're looking good. Everything there looks good. That says we're live. Okay, I think we're good to go here. I think everything is working the way we want it to work. Where the chat's working, audio hopefully still sounds good. Video, there's only so much I can do about this, but other than that, I think the video looks all right. I had some other plans. I was going to do a kind of a third camera thing over here, but right before I went live, it glitched out on me and almost locked up my system. Had a brief moment of panic. So when we switch over to the top-down camera, where we're going to take a look at my phone, unfortunately, you won't be able to see my face, and that's sad. But it is what it is. So I think with that said, what I want to do here is actually jump over to this. There it is. Let me make sure that this still looks okay. All right, everything there looks okay. All right. Bill Hicks says, signing up for an account on Twingate and mentioned you. Awesome, thank you. That's amazing. That's really, really cool. I don't know, so you're on YouTube. So in the video description, there will be a series of links down there with more information about that. Twitch doesn't really give me that option, which I think is unfortunate, or I've missed it. So yeah, if you go down to the video description on YouTube, there's a bunch of links, including a link that's like dbte.ch/Twingate. Use that to jump over there just so I can get an idea of how many people are going from my live stream over to there, just so I can get an idea of what those numbers look like in the future. And that's just for me. That doesn't give you anything. It doesn't give me anything other than the data to let me know that somebody went from this live stream over to there. So here we are. This is Twingate's homepage. And it says, oh, thank you. Appreciate that, Collins. So Twingate's homepage here says, go beyond VPN, keep private resources and internet traffic protected with zero trust. Zero trust security tools built for the modern world of work. And that's just it. What I like about this is that this is a very security-focused platform with which you can give yourself or others access to different resources on your network or your entire network. You can be very particular about who has access to what. You can restrict things by like operating system. You can restrict things by device type. You can restrict things based on the security measures installed on those different OSs and device types. There's just so many things you can do with this, and really granularly, you can really granularly make sure that the people only have access to the things they need to have access to. Devender says, I bet you nothing is secure. Okay, that's fine. You can believe that. But these guys have been at this for a while. The last few years, actually, they've been working on this. So this is kind of one of those things where unless I give you access via an email address or an account with a provider, you can't access my network via Twingate. You have to be invited in. I have to add your email address or your provider information to my account to give you access, and that's just not going to happen because I don't do that. In fact, even giving my mod is something I've never actually done before. Colin says, at the end of the day, security is a personal responsibility. If you don't take advantage of the capabilities of a service the way they intended as secure, it won't be secure. That's exactly right. And that's why Collins is getting access to part of my network later. Sort of like the ACLs from Tailscale, sort of, yeah. Honestly, I haven't looked at the ACLs on Tailscale in a long time. I actually haven't looked at Tailscale in a long time. Mostly because I rarely ever leave the house unless I'm on an errand or out doing something. I haven't traveled in a while as far as like leaving the state for a period of time or whatever. So like if I'm out doing something, I rarely need access to something at home. So, I haven't used anything remote like this in quite a while. Last time I went to Idaho, I used Tailscale because that's what I had set up. This will be a game changer for me next time I have to travel, because it gives me access to do all kinds of different things. So, Grisbear says hello. Devender says, I'm saying in context, lots of VPN companies get hacked and customer data gets leaked. You're not wrong. I 100% agree with that. But in order to gain access to this, there's multi-factor authentication that you can enable. Like I said, you can restrict access by device type, device operating system. You can restrict access a lot of different ways, and you can give access to different identity providers. We're going to cover all of this. But just know that there's a lot of security built into this. This is a zero trust platform. Like, everybody gets zero trust, and then you manually have to build out the trust on a per account basis, on a per I can't think of what it's called now. Like a group, when you've got a lot of people in a group who need access to one thing, you can group those people together, give them access to that as a group. There's a lot of different ways that you can secure this, but everybody gets zero trust. And then you build profiles for people or groups of people to give them only the access that they need. So if you've got your account secured properly, it shouldn't be an issue. But again, nothing is 100% foolproof. There are always ways to get around things. But like Colin said earlier, security is an ongoing battle that's always being worked on. Let's see. Let me think. Let me scroll back up here. At the end of the day, there always has to be some trust involved with this kind of service. After all, we can never know if an employee at Twingate has access to your network. That's true. And you don't know if it's same thing with Cloudflare, same thing with, Tailscale and Zero Tier and Plex and Microsoft, and like all of these companies, we're trusting them, right? And this is very much the case here as well. Bill says, I use it a lot for my different data centers at work and home, but I'm always looking for alternative. Tailscale, that is. Yep. Ben, Snack Time is here. Says, what's up, dog? Glad to have you here, Ben. Thanks for joining. Grisbear, thank you for joining. I appreciate you being here as well. Collins, thanks for the cheer. Super appreciate that. Here we go. Thank you for getting us started. I don't know what you did, but glad you did it. So... I don't know what happened there, but I had a little pop-up over on this other screen. Was reviewing DB's C-file video, was planning on using Tailscale for remote access, but look at this. Remember to support DP doing these great videos, Patreon, etc. Thank you, Steve. I super appreciate that. Zero Linux says, hey, DB, just finished the desk setup. That's awesome. You should, if you feel up to it, like later, you should share pictures in Discord. If you want to show us what you did, that'd be awesome. True. So be cautious and always understand that boxes or services you are sharing or opening to the world. Yeah, you've always got to be cognizant of what you're doing and the access that you're giving different things. And what I really like about this service is how easy it is to set up and shut down if you need to in a multitude of different ways. So yeah, let's jump back over to my desktop and take a look. So, like we said, we're going to go beyond VPN. There is a VPN element to this later, but this isn't your traditional VPN thing. We're gonna go into more detail here. So we can scroll down. Here we can see kind of an example. I wish this wasn't here. This is super, super annoying. This just being right there. I wish it would go away. This ask any question about Twingate. It's all of this stuff at the footer. I wish it would just go away. Or slide off to the side so that it wasn't constantly prevalent there. So anyway, we've got a little screenshot here of somebody remotely accessing their production cluster, it looks like. Do hardware free. So eliminate challenging deployments and resource-intensive maintenance with software-based ZTNA. We've got a zero trust security, like we talked about earlier, and performant and productive. Reduce IT support tickets and improve productivity for end users with best-in-class speed, reliability, and user experience. It really is just dead simple to set up, and I'm excited to show you that. Here are some of the services or some of the things out there that use this service. Some of them I've heard of, some of them I have not. But there you go. There's some services that use them and recommend them. So here we can kind of see Verify access requests before they leave your device. If the user isn't authorized, the device isn't verified, or the context is suspicious, Twingate doesn't let the network request leave the device. So you've got a client on your device, on your phone, on your computer, on your laptop, on your whatever. And if Twingate thinks that it looks sketchy, you're not getting in. So I love that. I think that's great. We'll take a look at how it works here in a little bit. Just kind of want to scroll down here. There we go. So the Twingate Zero Trust Platform, remote access built for the modern workforce. And again, here we can see they keep a log of everybody who has accessed your stuff. And you can, as the administrator, see all of that. And I think that's great. This says it's a VPN replacement, remotely access the Office network, cloud VPCs, and other private resources. Again, that's all based on what your administrator or your team lead has given you access to, or if you are that person, what you've given other people access to. And we'll take a look at that here in a little bit. So least privilege access, powerful automated access controls the network layer. So again, you start with 0, and then your account manager, your project manager, whoever, gives you the little bits that you need and adds that to your account or the group that you're in. And you only get access to the things that you've been explicitly given access to. And I think that's great. Intelligent device controls, and each one of these has its own link in there as well. Precisely control access based on specific device requirements. Your PCMD with a super chat says, can you discuss the difference between Twingate and Cloudflare tunnels? They are different things almost entirely. Cloudflare tunnels is more about giving, in a grander sense, okay, I'm going to speak kind of generally here, but with Cloudflare tunnels, you attach a domain, you buy a domain, you set your DNS to go to Cloudflare tunnels, and then you can remotely access, like dbtechreviews.com is hosted on the box behind me via Cloudflare tunnels. A lot of basically all of the services that I have available for public consumption online are on the box behind me, accessed via Cloudflare tunnels. It is more of a public access thing in the grand scheme of things via domain names and things like that. This is more direct access to resources. You can use DNS servers. You can use the built-in DNS server that's available in Twingate that we'll take a look at. But this is more access to resources, like machines, like servers, like the kind of the remote access stuff for, like they showed up here. Let me just scroll back up. Like here we can see that somebody's using this to SSH into their server remotely. And we can see this is a .int, this is an internal server, and this person is remote. So this is, for SSH stuff. This is for accessing IP addresses. This is for accessing internal resources, not public-facing resources, is kind of the simpler way to say that, I suppose. You can use it for other things if you want, like Plex servers, for instance, like we talked about earlier. But that's kind of the difference where Cloudflare tunnels is meant for public-facing stuff with restrictions. This is more meant for internal stuff with restrictions. So, All right. Can you imagine some random employee firing this upon their computer? How does this work on dedicated devices like consoles, Fire Sticks, etc.? You actually need to install the client on the device that you want to use remotely. So like on my phone, I have the Twingate app. On my desktop here, I've got the Twingate app. Same thing on the computer in there. Anything that needs the remote access has to have the app on it, although there are API things that you can do that we will kind of touch on briefly later. But by default, there's an app for phones, laptops, computers, whatever. But there is API access if you can make that work on the device you're trying to get remote access with. Both are different things. Cloudflare Tunnel does not support other basic web services, have issues with other protocols, right? Mr. Grey Wolf says, the DNS is my biggest issue with both Twingate and Tailscale. Looking forward to seeing what I messed up. So we'll cover that. We'll get into DNS a little bit later. I'm not trying to show anything. Like I said, somebody said, change the view, please. Like I'm talking to you. I'm not trying to show anything here. So no, we're on the right page, I promise. Lavish says hello, gives a little wave, thank you. How does Twingate compare to Tailscale? We talked about that a little bit earlier. they're similar but different, and I'm gonna demonstrate that later, at least on this side of things. It's always DNS. Yep, it sure is. In fact, yeah. So anyway, let's jump back over to my desktop and figure out where we were. We were down here. Yep. Okay, we were here. We looked at this. Okay, secure internet access from anywhere, and you can take a look at DNS filtering, content filtering, network intelligence. All of that is built in. What else? Powerful security deployment deployed in minutes. That's 100% correct. 90% reduction in deployment time, 99.99% reliability, and 86% faster than VPN. This uses, this uses something called QUIC as the underlying layer for duplexed back and forth data transfers. So, So there we go. This is very similar to Zero Tier, but there are things about this that I like a lot more, if I'm being honest. Let's see. Oh, Zero Linux says, sent a super chat saying, sent the desk image to Discord. Feel free to show it. Later, we'll take a look at it. I don't know if it'll be on stream, though. But yeah, so thank you for that, Zero Linux. I appreciate the donation there. Runa says, Zero Tier is also similar. That's true. We talked about that kind of in passing as well earlier. Let's see, scroll down. Okay, we looked at this. We've helped thousands of companies stay secure and innovate faster. And then, of course, there's some testimonials. The audio has broken down on my end. Is that everyone? That's a question. Is everyone? Audio just went weird. How is it on that? Okay, that is just on Twitch. That's good to know. Something happened to the sound. Awesome. Audio kind of glitching, cackling. Awesome. That I was hoping that I had fixed that. That sucks. I went to a lot of effort to make sure that wouldn't happen. You're on YouTube. It's more static. Okay. It's on YouTube too. Okay, that's good to know. I was hoping that wasn't going to happen. I thought I had it fixed, and we made it. How far did we make it? We made it, like half an hour? 28 minutes, but it cleared up. Interesting. I wonder if it was overloading the bandwidth. I'm only sending 6 megs, like 4 to 6 megs on each one. Sounds good again, maybe? That's so weird. That's so weird. Like, everything on my end looks fine. Now it's good again. It got better. Don't you just love the inconsistent problems? Yeah, right? Okay, I apologize, guys. I thought I had it. It was half an hour, almost half an hour of success there. If it happens again, I'll throw up the BRB screen. I will swap out the audio interface. We'll go back to the USB thing. I switched it back over to this. I've got a 2 gig symmetrical connection, and I'm pushing 6 megs each. Oh, that's so strange. Welcome to IT, right? Okay, look, if it happens again, we'll throw up the BRB screen. I'll swap the audio, and we'll be right back at it in like 2 minutes. Let me know. Thank you guys for letting me know. If it happens again, let me know, and we'll fix it. I think maybe it was just a little thing. So it's really okay now. Perfect. All right, cool. So we've got some testimonials here. Blend uses Opal and Twingate to implement a holistic zero trust strategy. Twingate helps apps to create mobile games enjoyed by millions. MHC, we've got more testimonials. We've got a 4.9 on G2. Automate your journey to zero trust. So we were talking about this just a minute ago. So you've got an API here that you can use to. So if there isn't an app on your network, you can probably use an API. I'm not good with APIs. I never have been. But you can use other things like Terraform, Pulumi, I guess. I've never, Pulumi, I don't know. I've never heard of this. Or an API to do integrations and that sort of thing. Got a nickel for every bandwidth blurb on all of our employees. I wouldn't need to work anymore, right? Cool. So Twingate's API first design easily integrates with your stack. No changes to infrastructure needed. Just choose your IAC, choose your VPC, and deploy. So if you're into APIs and Terraform and all of that kind of stuff, they got you covered. That's not me though. I'm not that guy. The APIs are another one of those super magical things that when they work, they're amazing. When they don't, they don't. So Varun says, what advantages does Twingate have over Tailscale? I'll show you later. Build a best-in-class security ecosystem, and they've got all of these different things. So these are like OIDCs, these are DNS providers, these are deployment platforms that you can integrate with Twingate as part of the deployment process. And I love this. There's an entire section about integrations. Let me pop this open. Oops, there we go. So like lots of options for integrations across different things for different reasons. Lots and lots of different ways to integrate with this, and I love it. So let's scroll down. News and insights from our blog. We took a look at their blog briefly regarding Plex and how they actually have a blog post showing how to use Plex with Twingate. I love that they thought about that. The VPN replacement that your workforce will love. Audio issues again. Okay. I apologize, guys. Audio glitching again. Okay, so we're getting multiples. Cool. I got you. Give me 2 minutes. And we're back. So we're on a different audio interface entirely. Actually, I lied. Okay, my apologies. Now we should be good. I have swapped to an entirely different microphone and USB audio interface. I used to be a sound engineer, so yeah. So we're using a USB microphone. So yeah, here we go. This stuff happens. Yeah. Less than 2 minutes, you like, right? Yeah. Awesome. Much better. Okay, then this is what we're going to go with. I was really hoping I could use the other thing. I guess not, but we're back. We're good to go. Really, really glad. Thank you guys for the support on getting that to work. Super appreciate it. Everything looks good. Everybody's happy in all of the chat. Awesome. Cool. Well then I guess if we jump back over here to the desktop, that kind of brings us back to where we were. This is the VPN replacement that your workforce will love. You can try it for free. You can request a demo. Now, one of the things that a lot of people are going to probably wonder as well is, what does it look like for pricing? What are your limitations? Because there are limitations here, right? And I want to talk about that. I don't want to give people a false hope. Basically, they've got 4 different options, as we can see here. We've got Starter, which is free. That's what we're going to use. You get up to 5 users. You get broad OS compatibility, including Mac, Windows, Linux, iOS, Android, and more. Enterprise peer-to-peer connections, split tunneling, and conditional access controls. That's what we're taking a look at right now, Mr. Bill Hicks. We've also got Teams, where that is, if you've got more than 5 users, you can get up to 100 users on the Teams program here. You're going to get up to 100 users. You get SSO with this via Google Workspace. You get SaaS application gating, native device posture checks, multi-factor authentication for Bastion host, SSH, and more. We also get automated least privilege policies. That's, again, if you've got more than 5 users, and you can actually do this monthly or yearly. If you want to do it monthly, it's $6 a month per user. If you want to do it yearly, it's $5 per month per per user, billed a year in advance. So that's what's going on there. And of course, if you need more than that, their business platform gives you up to 500 users for $10 per user. And then we get enterprise if you need to do more. Is audio going bonkers on me again? Jorge says audio something. I hope audio looks good on my end. Sounds good. No glitch. Cool. Thank you. Thank you for verifying that. Appreciate it. Audio sounds good. Cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. I wanted to make sure because we know audio is good. Awesome. Thank you, guys. We had somebody say something about audio. Aruna says Entra ID SSO only in business tier. I mean, here's the thing: you can get, you can get the business package if you've only got 10 users. Like it would cost you $100 a month, a year in advance, or or $120 a month to month. But you can get the business features if you want them. You just have to pay for them. Because they've got overhead, they've got API things, they've got all kinds of stuff that they've got to cover as well. I feel so that's why they have to cover their end as well. So that's the home page. We've got some so we've got okay, this is the products. Remote zero trust, remote access for zero trust networking, least privilege access, internet security. We kind of talked about some of this. Integrations, we kind of briefly gleaned over that. There's this whole docs section that, yeah, there you go. Okay. So let's go back and let's look at this. So if you were to do it monthly, if you had, let's say you had 10 users, right? It would be $120 per month. That's $12 per user times 10 users is $120 per month to get 10 users. And of course, you can add or subtract the users that you need. You can pay yearly. So this would be, it would still be $120 a year per user, because again, 10 times 12 is 120. But you would be paying per user per year. You'd get a 15% savings if you went that route. One of the questions I would have is that, let's say I bought 10 users, right? Let's say I bought 10 user licenses. Are any of those licenses transferable? So like if Joe quits, can I give John Joe's old license? I kind of wonder how that would work. If you, there you go. If you paid yearly, can you transfer those licenses from one user to another via emails or whatever? I'd be curious about that. But I don't have that answer because I didn't think of it until just now. So, okay, so we're good there. Awesome. Cool. Then let's jump over to their docs real quick. And we can kind of take a look here. Right, especially where businesses have seasonal users. That is correct. So how Twingate works. This is kind of what we're talking about. But Google SSO is available in Teams, which seems weird to me. I mean, I don't have an answer for that, man. I wish I did, but I don't. So Twingate was designed from the beginning with a thoughtful approach to security in mind. A key feature of Twingate's design is that no single component can independently make a decision to allow traffic to flow to another component or resource on your remote networks. Authorization for user access flow is always confirmed with a second or even third component depending on the sensitivity of the decision being authorized. So, you can't swap out users. It's more about user count. Awesome. Thank you, Eric. I super appreciate that information. Again, if you're just joining Eric Twingate, he is one of the developers over on Twingate. He has been so kind as to join us today to answer questions like this. So super, super happy to know that you can't swap out users, that we're just talking numbers of licenses, not assigning a dedicated license to a dedicated user. That's awesome. Thank you, Eric. Super appreciate the confirmation on that. Okay, the following guide starts by covering Twingate's architecture and then dives into how Twingate encrypts traffic and guarantees that users can only securely access resources that they've been authorized to access. Twingate relies on 4 components: the controller, clients, connectors, and relays that together ensure that only authenticated users are able to access the resources that they have been authorized to access. So on your computer, you're going to have a client, or on your laptop, on your phone, on your tablet, whatever, you'll have a Twingate client. I've already got that installed on, I think, all of my devices at this point, and that's the user side of things. On your server, yes, there is MFA. We will talk about that here in a little bit. On your server, like on the box behind me there, you would install a Twingate connector, and that is kind of what lives on the server side of the firewall. And then of course there's a Twingate control panel, the Twingate controller. We're gonna get signed into that here in a little bit, and then to kind of help facilitate the data transmission back and forth and the communication and that sort of thing, we've also got a Twingate relay, and then there's a peer-to-peer connection that happens after everything has been authorized appropriately by at least 2 factors. So that's kind of what this looks like. We'll also notice here that we've got 2 different connectors, and that's because each time you spin up a remote network, there is also a you're encouraged to install 2 connectors for redundancy. We'll talk about that when we get to it. So with Twingate fully configured, the end result, hold on, let me make sure, there we go, is that authorized users can connect to any resource using its fully qualified domain name or IP address with addressing local to the resource or the remote network without needing to know anything about the underlying network configuration or even what remote network the resource resides on. So below that, it talks about the four different resources that we looked at here. We've got the controller, which is the central coordination component for Twingate. All of this, again, is in the dashboard. We've got the client, again, that resides on your phone. And there's so much information that we could go into this, but I don't want to just spend the next hour reading to you, if I'm being honest. I don't feel like you guys would enjoy that, or enjoy listening to that any more than I would enjoy actually doing it. So again, links to everything should be in the video description, at least if you're on the YouTube. If you're over on the Twitch platform, there's a doc on how everything works. So definitely feel free to dig through that. I guess I'll also share it over here on YouTube, just so you guys don't feel left out. I don't want to do that. But we talk about, the 4 different components to making Twingate as secure as it can be. And of course, they're always working on this stuff. They're always making sure that everything is secure, that it's up to standards, that it's as secure as it can possibly be. It's not just like they built it and it's done. They're always monitoring this and working to make it better. So, and I'm sure that Eric can attest to that, because he's one of the developers there. In fact, I think, if I remember right, he's actually a senior developer over there at the Twingate. So we've also got relays, which is the simplest component in the architecture. No data or network identifiable information is stored in the relay, and no data carrying connections are terminated at the relay. The relay can be considered to be the equivalent of a turn or a WebRTC nomenclature. So kind of that's what that is. It's a turn server or a WebRTC kind of thing. And then its basic responsibilities are listed there. Last updated 5 months ago. So we can also talk about DNS. How does DNS work with Twingate? So you can either use your own DNS server. If you want to do that, you can actually set that up when you're setting everything up, when you're building your network here. Or you can, so you can either use your own, or you can use their Twingate server. You can use Twingate's DNS server configuration in here. I swear, one of these days, the words are going to come out of my face in the correct order. So we will cover that. Here we can kind of see what this looks like, your computer, and of course, we can see kind of the client, the DNS proxy. We can see the DNS proxy with the relay, the connector. There's lots of different ways that this can be configured to make it work depending on what your needs are. So we've got Twingate versus VPNs. What is the difference between Twingate and corporate VPNs? Traditionally, companies housed all of their information technology resources on premises in locations controlled and managed by them. This includes servers loaded with applications that were placed in data centers or an office server room, and the desktop computers used by employees, all of which were all wired up to a company-controlled local or wide area network in which they all communicated. Because everything and everyone tended to be located in the same corporate network, securing the perimeter of this network against outside attackers was a standard approach. In other words, building a moat around a corporate castle. So this goes the other way. This you have to build it from the ground up, and you start with the least amount of access and add access as you need it for each individual user or group, like we've talked about before. Also, this is an interesting topic. So this is another one of those services that doesn't care if your network is natted, if you're like if you got a CGNAT, a double NAT, if your IP address changes. Twingate doesn't care. Twingate does not care what your network configuration is, as long as you've got their product in place the appropriate way. It just works. It's magic that happens behind the veil, so to speak. I know that's a very dumb way to say it, but it doesn't care about your natting, your CGNAT, your double NAT. It doesn't care about your IP address. It doesn't care about any of that. Your public IP address, I should say. Also, it works in conjunction with your firewall, so it tunnels its way through like Tailscale, like Zero Tier, like Cloudflare tunnels. It kind of works that same way, where it's got a tunnel built in, so you don't have to mess with your firewall to get this to work. It's one of those things that just works when it's implemented properly. So we've also got encryption, where it's got some more information about that, how encryption in the internet works, and there's a very lengthy article here as well. There's also information about API, where you can learn more about how the API works with read and write tokens and that sort of thing, and of course how to use their API. There's a quick start guide for managing Twingate, where you can kind of go through and look through all of that, but rather than do that, let's just get this set up, right? So what I want to do, I'm just going to go back to the home page just to give us a bit of a refresher. And I guess while we're at it, I'm gonna put you back here. I'm gonna drink some water. So there's that. All right. So what I want to do is actually click sign in. If you've already got an account here, you can put in your network name right here where it says Acme and click continue. If you can't remember what that looks like, you can put in the administrator email address and sign up or have that information sent to you, kind of a lost password kind of thing. But I'm going to create a new network here. I'm going to do dbtechtuts@gmail.com. I'm going to be using this at home. Right, so there we go. Steve Gold, thanks for joining. Feel free to join us again later if you want to. Oh, damn, you're right. My bad. I apologize. Can't see the screen. Thank you, guys. You guys keep me on my toes. That's why I keep looking up here, because you guys are really, really good at that. So does all of the traffic flow through Twingate, or does Twingate just facilitate the handshake and the two endpoints? Yes, it is a peer-to-peer connection after the handshake has been made, if my understanding is correct. Eric, if I'm wrong, let me know, but I believe that the handshake just happens via Twingate, and then it's a peer-to-peer connection after that. That is how I read everything when we take a look at the docs here, and we take a look at how Twingate works. Yeah, so all of the authentication happens here, and then there is a peer-to-peer connection there. So that's my understanding, is the authentication happens, and then it's a peer-to-peer connection from there. Again, if I'm wrong, Eric, please correct me. So here we are. We're going to use my email address that I've got opened up right there, and we're going to click on Get Started, because I've selected I'm going to use this at home. Get Started. So customize your experience. Help us deliver the best onboarding experience for your use case. Which of the following is your use case? Select all that apply. Home lab. That's all I'm going to do. Like, I'm just going to use this for that. Access to a private cloud? Maybe. Sure, why not? General product testing or something else. I'm just going to go with those two because they make the most sense for what I'm doing here, and most likely what you guys will be doing at home anyway. Let's see, peer-to-peer, correct. And there is a relay fallback through Twingate. There you go. That doesn't surprise me because these guys really do seem to have thought of everything. So, how did you hear about Twingate? I'm just gonna don't remember. If I'm being completely honest, I'm just going to say YouTube. It's fine. I'm going to click continue. Cool. So network name defaults to the first part of my email address, which is dbtechtuts. Perfectly fine for me. My network URL name will be dbtechtuts.twingate. Let me zoom in on that a little bit. There we go. So dbtechtuts.twingate.com. All of that is set up and ready to go. So I can click go to your network. Now that I've created that, now I need to click a sign in method. Now by default, I can use Google, Microsoft, GitHub, or LinkedIn. Or if you want to use an identity provider after your initial login, you can connect your identity provider and use it for authentication. So this is where I put DB Tech. Okay, I don't understand what you mean by that, but we're going to move on. So I'm just going to sign up with Google just because, again, I've got this email address here that I'm going to use. Right, sign up with Google, Microsoft, or Microsoft, right? That's actually pretty funny. That's a really good point. But there are other options down here that you can use if you want to go that route. I'm going to sign in with Google. I'm going to select that. Okay, I probably shouldn't be showing you that, but it's too late now. Yes, that was me. We agree on that was the number. There we go. I'm going to finish this sign-in process while you look at my face. Okay, it says building your network. That's what that looks like. And then it redirected me. Welcome to Twingate. Add your first resource, connect your network, download Twingate. Something like authentic. No, not really. So welcome to Twingate. You created your new Twingate network. Here are the few steps you need to launch it successfully. We need to add a resource, connect your network, and download Twingate. Now, I've already downloaded Twingate, so I've done number 3. Let's do numbers 1 and 2. So I'm going to click Start Setup. Now, this is what I find interesting. Right? Let me zoom in on this a little bit. And of course, it's not going to let me do that. That would be too easy. Good enough. All right, so I can give access. Oh, how did I? Oh, gotcha. Thank you for clarifying, Bill. Sometimes I'm a little slow. I'm still working on my second cup of coffee here, and it's almost noon. So with Twingate onboarding, we're going to add our first resource. That's step 1. That's where we are right here. It says, what is the first Twingate protected resource you'd like to set up? You can set up an entire subnet. So I could just set up this network, or this resource could be my entire home network. I could give it access to absolutely everything on my network. Or I could use an entire domain with a wildcard like .internal if I wanted to do that. And I could use again a DNS server to do like proxmox.local or proxmox.internal or plex.lan or whatever I wanted to use for that. Or I could just do an IP address like this, or I could do a private DNS address like host.autoco.internal. Now, I'm going to just do an IPv4 address. This is just going to be a single service that I'm going to set up. Just again, for the sake of this part of the demonstration here. So what is located at your IP address? It is a server, a private web app, a NAS, file share server, a Kubernetes cluster, self-hosted media server like Plex, Jellyfin, etc. They actually have that as an option. Again, to go back to that, there are a lot of these services that don't want you to do that. But again, once the authentication has happened, it's a peer-to-peer transaction. Again, with that fallback, just in case. So for the sake of keeping things simple, I'm just going to say this is a private web app. And then it's going to ask me what is the address. So I'm going to come over to here. I should have been more careful about that. Let me make sure. Oh, right. Let's go here. Nope. This is that. Okay, that's fine. I can share that. Here's the video description for this video over on YouTube. So let's hold on. Can you later add unlimited resources in case you want to add multiple but one by specifying the IP? I mean, you can give access to an entire network if you want to do that. You can add as many different resources to this as you'd like. I don't know if unlimited. I don't know if there's a resource cap on that. I think I would also lean on Eric for that. Like, is there? That's actually a good question. Is there a number of resources what is the maximum number of resources that a free user can use? I guess would be the question there. So here we are. This is the IP address that we're going to use. So I'm just going to paste this in here. It's not going to like that, and it probably isn't going to like, yeah, it's not going to like the port either. So we're just going to give it access to 192.168.0.40. That's the server web IP address. So the server app IP address, right? And then we're going to click on create resource. And here we go. So now what we want to do is actually, let me zoom out just a little bit there. Okay. So now how do we want to connect our network? You can use AWS, you can use Docker, Helm, Azure, Linux, and more AWS, Google, Terraform, Pulumi, or manual. Unlimited resources. Awesome. Thank you, Eric. So unlimited resources on the free account, it sounds like. So how are we going to connect, right? We need to connect to our network. How do we want to do that? I'm going to use Docker because that's what we do here on the channel, right? So I clicked Docker right there, and it says preparing for deployment. Inbound internet access to a connector host is neither required nor recommended from a security standpoint. If you wish to limit outbound ports, you may limit TCP TCP to 443 and an inclusive range of ports for UDP, for UDP and QUIC for HTTP3 ports. You may limit to those ranges. Axel chat. Oh, sorry, I just got distracted over here. Alexia shared something over in Discord that I'm going to take a look at later because I'm not super happy with ground control at this point. But that is not why we're here. We can access all resources of the network, ensure that the connector have both permissions and routing rules to access private resources. Resources will be resolved and routed from the connector host. So that is something to keep in mind. Oh, limited on free, not paid. Let me see if I can find the actual limit is. Okay, thanks, Eric. Appreciate that. So deploy close to resources, minimize the amount of hops on the network, right? Generate tokens. Now, the tokens are part of that authentication process like you would expect, right? The tokens that we generate here are going to be what is going to be used for the authentication process. So there aren't any tokens here. I'm going to click generate. And when I do this, it's going to ask me to authenticate yet again. I'm going to click that. And then I'm going to click sign in with Google again, but I'm going to click here just because, again, I've got other stuff in here that doesn't really apply to what you guys have got. Okay, there we go. Right, continue. This is going to be a dummy account just for the moment, and you're not going to see the entire token anyway. But Aruna, I appreciate your attention to detail with regards to security. I actually really do appreciate that. So we've got our tokens. Again, you can only see part of them. You can't see all of them. And it's even the same down here when we get to the Docker compose or the Docker run command, right? So we can use a custom DNS server if we want to do that. We can click that. And if we've got an AdGuard home, or if we've got a DNS server on our network, we can put in the IP address for that. Right? This is why I hate sharing my screen in Zoom. Yeah, I've had some embarrassing things happen sharing my screen in large groups. Anyway, we're not going to use a custom DNS server for right now because it's not what we're after here. So we want to make the connector available on a local network. Yep, we sure do. Selecting this option will have the connector use the host name or the host network driver sharing the host's network access. And in fact, I think, yeah. If we take a look at this Docker run right here, if we look down here kind of towards the bottom of this, if we click make connector available on local network, we click that, it does give us network equals host. This is going to give us host access to the container that we're going to put it in. So just be aware of that. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me do 5 users, 10 remote networks for free tier. There you go. Something real similar to that, Aruna says, like the Chinese uni teacher who was showing off their anime waifu to the entire auditorium. I had something similarly embarrassing happen because of a video I had been watching on Facebook when I pulled it up. It was awful, but pretty funny looking. In fact, it was even funny in the moment. I was in a room full of dentists. I was giving a presentation to a dental group. There was like 100 dentists there. And this funny video that I was watching earlier was still on my screen and I didn't realize it. But everybody got a good laugh and it kind of helped break the tension as well. So anyway, checking this local network option right here does add network host to this. So just be aware of that. And then local network connection logs optional. I would assume you would want that. Enabling local network connection logs will output all traffic or network activity to std out on the connector host, making it easy to ingest this data to SEIM. For more information, see the docs. So that's how we're going to do that. So then we've got this Docker run command, and there's actually some things I appreciate about this. And it's going to sound stupid, but there are a lot of developers and services out there that miss this. I'm not going to call anybody out because I don't want to do that. But having Docker run -d, that -d will make our lives so much easier. Also, a restart policy here of unless stopped, 100%. There are large business class applications that don't have either of those in their Docker run command. So seeing this on Twingate without having to add it later makes me super happy. I can't tell you how happy that makes me just to see that. Again, I know it's silly. I know it's a nothing burger of a thing, but again, there are other services that don't have that. So the Twingate network is going to be dbtech tuts. We've got our access token, our refresh token. Our Twingate label hostname is hostname. Log analytics v2 deployed by Docker. The name of our connector is here. Basically our container name, our Docker container name. Our network equals host. Restart unless stopped. Pull equals always. And Twingate connector with the 1 tag there for versioning. So I'm just going to copy that command. Copied it to your clipboard. I understand that. It's also, you can't see the whole thing. It's fine, I promise. And again, we're only going to get access to one application on this. So again, it's fine. Nobody can access this. It's okay. Hey, look, there's my welcome to Twingate email. Cool. So we're going to jump over to Proxmox because I've created an LXC for this Twingate instance here. I'm going to paste in that Docker run command and hit enter. And there we go. Now look, it went really fast. It went really fast because I've already downloaded the Docker image for this, right? I already did that earlier. Oops, let's come back over to here. And behind the scenes, that page reloaded because the connection was made. So we've done steps 1 and 2. We've connected our network. We've connected our resource. Congratulations, you deployed a connector. You've now created a resource and deployed a connector on your private Twingate network. Your resource and connector will be housed within a remote network for easy access later on. We've automatically generated your remote network for you. Cool. So now we can click continue. It does mean that they pay attention to details. I 100% agree with that. Aruna says, what's the option for Podman systemd file? Well, if you're familiar with Podman, you know what to change. It's not that much. You got this. And I know you're kidding. It's fine. So now we can sign in, or so we can download for Windows, which you've already done. And after downloading, use your network URL to sign into your network, and then access your resource. So that's it, right? Like that's the setup process for the initial. So that's that. Sorry, I got sidetracked and almost lost my train of thought. So now that we've got all of this, we're ready to again download our app, sign into our network with this, and we can access our resource. So let's click skip. We're going to go to the admin console, and here we are, right? Coreyman0 says, been using Twingate for a while. It's pretty neat and easy to set up. It absolutely is. I 100% agree with that. Let's see, everything here looks good. All right. So we can't really do anything yet. What we need to do is kind of look around here for a minute, I think. So again, we've got next steps. Keep that train on the rails. Dude, it'll get bad if I don't. I'm aware. Got an appointment coming up for that. So next steps, download Twingate, create more resources, deploy another container, or another connector rather. And again, let's actually jump over to the connectors tab for a moment here, right? So each remote network that you create has 2 connectors available to it immediately. And the reason for that is they want you to install 2 connectors on your network. So in case one connector goes down, and when I say that, I mean 2 separate pieces of hardware, right? So maybe you've got, a Raspberry Pi that you could throw this on for your second connector as a backup. These 2 connectors solution is for redundancy. So definitely, if you're going to actually implement this, it's kind of like having 2 instances of Pi-hole or 2 instances of AdGuard Home, right? Because if one goes down, everything falls apart. If you've got 2, then there's that backup redundancy to make sure that everything keeps working. And yeah, Classy Cal and Polar Finch, they use names like that. So pretty funny stuff. Again, just taking a look, this is the second connector that we haven't deployed yet, right? And it says, hey, how do you want to deploy this one? And again, we go through that same process: Docker, Helm, AWS, Azure, Terraform, whatever you want to use. Click it, go through the process of generating new tokens and getting all of this information set up like we did a minute ago, and then deploy that somewhere else on your network so that if one of them goes down, the other one is still running, and you've got that extra redundancy for your deployment. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm not going to do that, but just know in a production environment, you should absolutely deploy both of them. So that is the connectors. And you can, I think, can you do connection status, 2 connectors? Yeah, there we go. I feel like there was an option to add more than that, but maybe I was lucid dreaming or something. Anyway, back to the overview. So right here, okay, so starting at the top, we've got network, we've got teams, devices, policies, internet security, and settings. Below that, under network, we've got overview, resources, remote networks, and connectors. Now we're on the overview page. We looked at connectors. On the overview page, there is a way to explore using Twingate at home, and there are several different bits of information here on how you can get this set up. Using this quick start guide, you can join their Reddit community, again linked in the video description on YouTube. Protect your home lab, secure your Raspberry Pi, connect to Plex or Twingate, like we've talked about several times. And then Network Chuck actually did a video a year and a half ago that's like 1.4 million views or something. I actually watched it. It was good. It was good. So we've got connection history here. We've got recent activity there. Again, download Twingate, create more resources, deploy another container, connector. I keep saying container, connector. There are currently no active devices. We've got 1 resource and 1 remote network online, and you can add additional users here as well. So I think with that said, while we're doing this, I'm going to come over to here. I've got to find this email address. Collins, pay attention. I'm going to add you. I'm going to invite that user. There we go. Collins has been invited, so just be aware of that. Under remote network, select your network, you can add a connector. I knew there was something. Let me go there. Yeah, create resources. Oops. Yeah, add connector. There it is. Too many types of software on them. Dude, it really is. So many different types of things going on in my brain right here. So where were we? We added a user. Okay, so 1 admin user, 0 DevOps users, 0 support users, 0 reviewer users, and 1 member user. No access to the admin console. That is going to be our Discord and YouTube mod, Jay Collins. So, and then 0 services, automated access to resources. Cool. So we've added our user. Now let's jump over to resources and take a look. So we've got our web app right here. Edit. Okay. So this is the web app that we set up a moment ago, right? Where we gave it this IP address of 0.40. Now, I tried to add port 3000 to that earlier, and it was like, no, we're not going to do that. Well, if we come back over to here and we click edit, right here, we can add an alias if we wanted to do that. I don't want to do that. But what was this? I create a secondary address for easy access, right? What I want to do is add a port. Now we can say, I want it, let me zoom in on this so you can see it better. There we go. So we can say TCP ports. We can allow all ports. I don't want to do that. Again, I want to just do port 3000 for this. For UDP, I don't want any UDP stuff there. And if it gets pinged, I don't want it to respond, right? For extra security, I'm going to disable ICMP. We can set the default policy, and we can set no auto lock. We're going to skip over that for right now, but this is what's going on here. We can also say standard access, browser access, and background access if we want to do that. I'm going to click update, and there we go. So now if we scroll down here, we can see the default policy is applied. We'll talk about policies in a minute. Auto lock. It'll auto lock after, like, you can basically say only give them access for 30, 60, or 90 days. This is great for like seasonal employees or seasonal contractors or things like that. If you know their contract is only 30 days, only give them 30 days worth of access. But I'm not going to lock that. We can see that the remote access is my first remote network. We can see all of the other stuff in there as well. And we can see what is authorized, which is just TCP port 3000, no UDP, and no ICMP. I agree, actually. Let me see. Is it one connector per shared resource? Manage access. Let's see. Back to resources. So this network, this connector, you can add additional resources to here as well, if that order of words made sense. So you can add. In fact, I want to come back and I want to edit this. Where is this? Can I edit that? I can edit this. Right. This is going to be dumbpad. This is what I'm giving Collins access to. So I'm just going to update that resource. So now instead of just saying web app, it says dumbpad. I probably could have done that earlier, but I missed it. So back to resources. Yeah, you can add additional resources to this connector. You don't need one connector per resource. I think, yeah. So is it one connector per shared resource? No, you can have, you can do all kinds of stuff with this with one connector. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Let's see, I hope you made it. Can you also take a look at Komodo? I will take a look at Komodo later. Custom date option would be nice. I agree with that. It actually would be pretty neat in there if we could give just a certain, like, I want this to end on November 14th and just have it be done on that day. I think that would actually be pretty cool. So let's see. Okay, resources. That's where we were. Dumbpad, right? And we took a look at this. No auto lock policy. Yeah, having a specific date there would actually be pretty cool. But they're letting. Okay, so down here below, they're just saying, hey, there's some scheduled maintenance. That's fine. And then again, there's no recent activity here because nobody has connected to that. You can generate reports. You can view access graphs. Access is everyone. That's the team. The team is everyone. We'll take a look at this here in a little bit. In fact, I lied. Let me take a look at that. Yep. Why aren't you there? So that is Mr. Collins. That is Mr. Me. And we can kind of take a look at this and see. From here I can edit the user. I can manage the roles. I can resend the invite in case they didn't get it or it got deleted or whatever. You can disable or delete. No DNS filtering profile, so we can do that later. We can add to groups. There's only the one group right now, but we'll take a look at groups later. So this is the everybody team. Let's go back to groups. Let's go back. Where were we? There we are. Okay. So, and we can add access from here. If we had additional groups, we could add more groups to have access to this resource. So that's kind of what's going on here. Just at a quick glance, you can get a lot of information about this particular resource, and I think that's awesome. So with that said, let's go back to resources. That's where we are. Again, we can add more resources from here. Remote networks. This is our first remote network. We've got one of two deployed. We've got one resource, and the location is other. I feel like I screwed that up. I feel like this should be on-prem. Edit to other. Oh, on-prem. It should be right there. Confirm. That's fine. Cool. Yeah. I don't know why I set it as other. It should be on-prem. I probably meant to click on-prem, but clicked other. So that was my bad. And again, we can create the resource, we can edit, we can do all kinds of stuff from here. We can create additional resources like we took a look at a moment ago. Email received, awesome, thank you. JD is here, thanks for joining. Eric says, noted on the custom date option. Yep, that would be awesome. Thank you for taking that into consideration, Eric, appreciate it. Let's see here. So that was that is networks. So that's basically everything under the network tab there, right? We've set up our network, we've set up resources, we've got our remote network configured, we've got a connector set up and good to go. Let's see the connector that is advised to create two for redundancy. Can you add more in case you have two different locations not interconnected with specific app on each? So like kind of a I don't know. I would think so, but you would have to have the redundancy with the applications themselves. I don't see why that wouldn't work. It should work, I would think. So yeah, that is network, right? That is the whole network thing we've gone through there. Under team, we've got users, right? We've got a couple of different users here. Again, Collins and me. Under here, we can again manage roles, edit users, assign people to groups, those sorts of things. Pirate Ben, I knew what you meant. I got you. We'll take a look at that later. I haven't actually dug into it too much. So again, no recent activity for me because I haven't logged in. Devices, right? Again, no devices here yet. Install now on a VM. Yeah, right, later. Devices, serial numbers, we'll come back to this once Collins and I both get connected. Under policies, so we've got policies here, right? And policies are actually really, really neat. So this is the default policy, right? And you can customize this. Right now, it's just any device installing now on a VM. Gotcha. So any device can connect, and what it means by that, and it's not just anybody out there. There you go. Thanks, Eric. You can create profiles, right? Create a custom profile. Create this, right? So going into device profiles here, we can say, I only want. Let's say I only want people on Windows to connect, right? Windows and Android, because that's what I use. So that's just what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to say only Windows Connect. So I'm going to disable Mac OS. I'm going to click block. Linux. Hey, Collins, are you using a Windows VM or a Linux VM? I actually need to know that. I'm going to block iOS here. I am going to allow Android. Windows VM, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. So I'm going to block Linux here as well. So now, as it currently stands, anybody who is on the team who's using Windows or Android on any of those devices can access this. That said, if I want to, I can say, you know what, they need to have encryption, they need to have screen lock, they need to have firewall, they need to have antivirus, they can have a minimum OS version, right? You can go in and be very, very granular about what you require. So Windows 10, cool. Windows 10 is blocked by default. I'm glad you said something. Fully allowed. I'm going to say no Windows. Nope, I can't do that because I'm on Windows 11. And then I'm going to say no Windows Server 2022. Right? Only Windows 10 and 11 are allowed here. You can say don't block Linux. You'll make Tux cry, right? So we're not gonna worry about antivirus because if you've got Windows, you've probably at least got the default Windows antivirus. So we're gonna say confirm changes, right? So here we can see on the approved operating systems that Windows is approved, and you have to have Windows 10 or 11. This other stuff, if you want to run this on XP, then you're making bad life decisions. And you can do the same thing down here, right? For Android or iOS or Linux or whatever, right? HD encryption not required, screen lock not required, biometric not required. Well, I think if you're going to be on Android, you should probably have a screen lock and biometric, right? There we go. So those two things are required in order to get set up on Android. We've also got Windows 10 and 11 set up, no Linux, no Mac OS, no iOS, right? So that's the device policies, right? So resource policies, oops, we've got it set to custom now. So here we can see the approved operating systems. All of that is good to go. That's how easy, right? Bill Hicks says, okay, these policy choices are saying, this is on the free tier, right? This is on the free tier. This isn't, I'm not giving these guys any money for this, right? This is a free account that I set up with an email address that they didn't know about 20 minutes ago, right? This is all free, and I love that. So The default policy has two requirements, which is the operating systems used by Dumpad, default, right? So we can come in, we can create additional device profiles. We can create additional policies as we need to for the sign-in policy. Must meet device security requirements. Device security. Cool. We've already done that, right? Authenticate every 30 days. Is 30 days too long? Is it not long enough? Do you want to make them? Do you want to make them have to re-authenticate every hour? Do you really want to upset your workforce? Make them authenticate once an hour. I don't advise doing that. We're going to delete that. Again, somebody was asking earlier about multi-factor authentication. Do you want to do that? Yes, we do. Require MFA. Just that quick and easy. We can change that setting, and we're off and ready to go. So I'm going to say don't require MFA because I don't want to complicate this demonstration, right? But MFA can be a requirement for your sign-in policies. You can make them sign in as often or as little as you'd like them to have to sign in to re-authenticate themselves. Make them update every 10 minutes just because I think it's a minimum of 1 hour. I think, it's days and hours, not minutes. And you can't do like 0.2. It must be an integer. So a minimum of 1 hour. So I love where your head is, but we're just gonna say every 30 days, right? So we've got all of that set up. We've got our sign-in requirements set up. Device profiles, we've got that all set up. Internet security, we can enable secure DNS if we want to go that route. And we can say, hey, do we want to use Twingate DNS that does require an upgrade, or do we want to use third-party DNS? So we want to use Cloudflare, Google, OpenDNS. Next, it will error out. It'll say it has to be at least one on the hour, or it's days and hours. There's no minutes involved there. So you can use Cloudflare's DNS, Google's DNS, OpenDNS, NextDNS, or a custom DNS resolver if you want to go that route as well. You probably create a login loop and the user implodes. That would be really funny. So we can do that if we want to. Like we don't have to. Like there's so many options for secure DNS in here. Connect to network and the email. What login should I use? The one with the email address that I attached to this account. So use your Gmail, use Google for that, because we set up a Gmail address for that, Collins. And then you should be good to go there. Under settings, again, this is for this network. LinkedIn is the worst option, so use that, right? I haven't attached any of those other things here, so that's probably not going to work. So again, secure DNS, if we wanted to go that route. Client configuration, machine keys. Enforce a persistent connection to secure DNS features even when your users aren't signed in to Twingate. To enable this persistent connection, generate a machine key and distribute it via your MDM. There you go. Like you can really tighten up security with this. So that is internet security policies. We've taken a look at that. Devices. Hey, look. There's James's Windows. That's James Collins, client version, Windows version, home window. Okay, Mr. Collins, here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to go here. I'm gonna DM you this over there. I don't care if people can see this. I'd like to know if you can go to that IP address as it's currently configured. If you can, what I'd like you to do is create a new note. Pretty extensive set of options on the free tier, to be honest. I couldn't agree more with that. So currently we've got Ubiquity, Twingate CSS fix, and Twingate Livestream description. Those are the only 3 notes in there right now. Hopefully, here in a minute, Collins will be able to go to that IP address. He's messaging me over here privately. We're going to see what happens. Hopefully that doesn't override. Oh, does it actually show up in Twingate? Perfect. So that's good. Like I am not connected, right? Like if I come down here, like you can't see it. Let me find. I don't even have Twingate open over here. So hopefully, Collins will be able to jump in here and create a new note because I don't have a pin on this. This is just a Dumpad instance I've got set up for doing some testing. So Collins is going to let me know here in a moment when that has been done. Again, is this the same as Tailscale? No. Now here's the thing, right? And I'm actually glad you brought that up, because this brings us back to what I wanted to point out, kind of the difference between them. When you use something like Tailscale, Tailscale will put you on their own subnet, right? They'll put you on a 100.10.10.1 or 10.0 subnet, right? This is my, let's do this. All right, you cool? Hey, look, I'm going to zoom in on this. I didn't do that. Collins, will you keep typing for me? Collins will in fact keep typing for you. Dude, hands up. Collins, I need people to see this. My hands are up. One more for me, Collins, please. Oh, he's moving around. Hands up. Everybody, hands up. There you go. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. So that shows, like this, I just gave Collins access to this application on my network. He's in New York, right? He's in his kitchen working on a server right now, and I've interrupted him to show you how this works. Pleasure doing business with you, dude. Thank you so much for that. So just that quickly and easily, let me actually come back to here, right? Just I'll share the, sorry, that's funny. I'll share the invoice later, please do. So just that quickly and easily, we created an account. We set up a user. We gave restrictions based on operating system, whether it was Windows or Android. We specified which versions were available. Very quickly and easily, I added his email address. He got an email. He signed up. He got everything deployed, and just that quick and easy, I was able to give him access to this one app on my network. You saw my hands were up. I wasn't typing that, right? So it was that easy to set up, right? And if I want to, at any point, oops, I clicked the wrong button there, right? I can come into here. I can come back over to here, and I can say, you know what? I'm just going to block that device. Are you sure you want to block this device? This will block James Collins from signing into Twingate on his device. This can take up to 10 minutes. Cool. In the next 10 minutes, Collins won't be able to access this any longer. And it's really just that easy. Of course, let me come back into here. Yeah, I can look at blocked, and there it is. This one shows blocked right there. Yep. Last signed in 5 minutes ago, James's Windows desktop. It's blocked. He can't, within the next 10 minutes, once everything propagates, he's out. He can't access this anymore. Then, of course, I can unblock. Just like that. He's back in and out just that quick with a couple of clicks on my end, because, of course, I'm the administrator here. And you can add multiple resources to this. You can create multiple networks. You can have, on the free tier, up to 5 different users on this. So this is free. This is a free resource that anybody can sign up for, and they can build teams, right? If I want to come over here, I can say, nope, I don't want to do that. Groups, here we go. Everyone, right? Let's add a group. Let's call this Livestream group, right? And in this Livestream group, again, I can add resources. I've only got the one resource, but if I wanted to, I could make this group have access to different resources than the everyone group. Right? I can be very, very specific about the resources available to this group, the users available to this group. I can edit the where did it go? Delete, disable. I can add resources, users, no DNS filtering. So there's all these different things that I can do very quickly and easily, and with very, very right. Eric, thank you for joining. I super appreciate you being here through this. It's been super helpful. We'll connect via email or a chat later. Again, thank you, Eric, for your help. Everybody, say goodbye to Eric. Thank him for being here. Been super helpful. So, yeah. So that's kind of just skimming the surface of what we can do with this. again, we can give access to other things on my network. We can set up, again, multiple different connectors. So in case one thing goes down, or in case one piece of hardware goes down, another piece of hardware can pick up that connection for us. This is kind of another one of those things like we looked at a while back, like with Pangolin. Like when I first installed it, my mind was blown at just how easy it was to get it set up and running. It just worked. There was no complexity to it. In fact, this is a different product than like Pangolin or Cloudflare Tunnels or Tailscale or Zero. Like they all do their things very well. But I think if you need to give somebody access to a local network resource while they're away, this is the way to go, right? This just works. Dead simple to set up. If you've got a small team, up to 5 users for free. Bill Hicks says this has some serious advantages over Tailscale, right? Because with Tailscale, you have to, you're on that separate subnet, right? You're on there, and they've got a huge list of subnets to choose from. But this is giving you direct access to that resource, right? Without the hop, without going through their setup. It's again we're dealing with connectivity. We're dealing with all of the different aspects that we saw earlier. If we come back over to here, with the relay and the controller and the client and the connector, like all of these things working in tandem with each other to make this as fast and as seamless as possible. Let's see. Mindbend says, DB, on that rack behind you, how many softwares are on it? Top rack on the left, I've got sorry, I got sidetracked. This is a problem for me. Top left, I've got a TerraMaster NAS. To the right of that, also on the top rack, I've got a Synology NAS. There's a 10 gig Unify switch right in front of it. You can kind of see blinking there. I've got a 10 gig switch that's not doing anything. Below that is another Synology NAS. Below that is an HL15 from 45 drives with Proxmox on it. Below that, you can't see, I've got a ZimaCube also with Proxmox on it. And I could give, if I wanted to, I could very, very quickly and easily set up, let me come back to here. Oh, and of course I was on the wrong screen there. But yeah, so all kinds of stuff goes on back there, and I could very quickly and easily, with that one connector, give Collins access to any resource available on this system, on this rack. Doesn't matter if it's on a different network. It doesn't matter if it's on a different piece of hardware. It's on the same network. So I could just give him access to anything there or anybody else who I wanted to give access to very, very quickly and easily. And it's just with one connector. I could add a second one. There's all kinds of different things I could do here to configure this to make it work for me and my use case scenario. So yeah, I'm blown away by how easy this is to use, how easy it is to set up, how user friendly it is, how easy it is for even somebody who's not super technically knowledgeable to just jump in and use it. And that's not a call out to Collins, but it's so easy. He got an email, he clicked it, he signed in, he could see the resources available to him, and he was able to jump on that resource with just a few clicks, right? Once his account was set up, obviously. But that's what I really, really love about Twingate. Now, I'm going to do one more thing here. Tell you what, I'm going to come back over to here. I'm going to come back over to here. There we go. Okay, so resources, live stream, group. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to add a resource. No, I want to create a new resource. Back to groups, network. Resources. Resource. So I'm going to give myself access to Plex, right? For that, I'm going to block. For that, I'm going to block. I'm going to call this Plex. Right, I'm going to create this resource. Right, and then I'm going to just say the live stream group, which is just going to be me, grant access. But then I need to come over here to team. to groups, to live stream group. I want to add a user. I want to add me. I'm going to click add user. Cool. I just added a resource there, right? So, what I'm going to do, just real quick here, top down, right? There's my phone. That's my Galaxy S22. I'm going to close out a bunch of this stuff real quick. I'm going to make sure that I'm not on my Wi-Fi, right? Oops. Where did it go? Turn off the Wi-Fi, right? No Wi-Fi. We agree? No Wi-Fi. I know you can't see me. This is what I wanted that extra camera for. But anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come back to me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get signed in on this. You know, guys don't need to see that process. Let's come back over here to Twingate. Let me opening up Twingate there, right? I'm going to sign into a different account. I'm going to change networks. I'm going to click reset. Be tech tuts, right? Make sure that is correct. I don't want to screw this up. Okay, that's it. That is correct. We're going to click that. So now I've added DB Tech Tuts there. I know that's hard to read because of the focus distance there. I'm going to click sign in. It's asking me to sign in with my account. And then I'm just going to click sign in with Google. And I'm going to select that email address. I'm going to do that. Okay, now I'm just verifying. That's all I'm doing there is just getting signed in with that account. Hopefully this isn't going to throw an error at us. So it's going to let me sign in to connect. Of course it's going to be like that, right? This is how it works. Let's see. Oh, Jan, thank you for the super chat. Super appreciate that. I'm going to try this again. It could be my cell phone connection. I'll click continue. Here we go. This is one thing that I've noticed. Sometimes I have to sign in a few different times to get it to authenticate correctly. I don't know what the issue with there is, but we're just going to run with it. There we go. Okay. So we're going to switch back over to my top down here. I'm going to make sure that this is lined up appropriately. Okay, so because I'm signed in, hey, look, there's that new resource that's available. If I click Plex, I can click open in browser. Of course, we're just gonna copy the original address. I'm gonna open in an incognito window. I'm gonna paste that in there, autofill, continue to site. Hey, look, there's Plex, and keep in mind. Oh, I've got to let me get logged in, right? Continue with email. I'm going to get signed in here real quick. Oh, that's not going to work. Maybe it'll work. There we go. Sorry, I'm actually logging in with my Plex account here. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Okay, here's Plex, right? You can see that's an IP address up there, but I am not connected to my Wi-Fi. This is my Plex instance, but again, on a cell connection, just like I'm on my home network. I absolutely love it. And it was just that quick and easy to add that resource so that I could jump in and get access to it. So, ADHD sucks. Hold on, let me scroll back up. Going to create a free account, test it out. Got some use cases that this might be a solution for. Yeah, 100%. ADHD sucks. Card carrying member. I'm on my way to a diagnosis, I think. And it seems you could sync users by identity providers. Yep. My only issue with this is that it needs to be a tier between free and bottom paid tier. I need something that would allow 10 users for about $10 per month. Is Twingate closed source? As far as I know, it is. Yes, it is. It is a commercial product. I do not believe. Let me see. Twingate. Let's just look. Well, let's go over to here. Here's my desktop. Right here is the Twingate GitHub repository. I mean, I'll share this in both chats so you guys can dig around and look at it. I'm going to share that here. I'm also going to share that there. So there you go. There's their GitHub repository that you can dig through and see. There's Terraform, there's GitHub Actions, Helm charts. Yeah, so it looks like they've got a lot of stuff that's available here. I don't know how open source. I'm pretty sure this is primarily closed source because it's a commercial product. that sort of thing. But they do have a repository that you can look into. We can see that it was updated yesterday, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 2 weeks ago. So there's stuff that they're actively working on. It looks like a lot of this is written in Go, it seems. Oh, we've got docs, examples, providers, Go mod 2 days ago. So some of this is going to be, you can look through the code and see what's going on, but I don't believe all of it is. I wonder if there's any EU-based alternatives to this service. That's a good question. I don't know. Haven't been to the EU in a long time. I guess I was technically in the UK. Is the UK considered part of the EU? There's a lot of initializations going on over there, and I just never know what the what all works together there. But so that's Twingate, guys. Like I know that we covered a lot, right? And we covered it kind of quickly in the last hour and a half regarding GDP, not EU, but Europe. Okay, that makes sense. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate the clarification there. Regarding GDPR, no. Good to know. So look, I know we covered a lot very quickly there. They left the EU. Interesting. But I definitely think that taking a look at Twingate is an awesome solution if you're looking to remotely access your stuff securely, again, with a zero trust approach to this. And look, we didn't cover everything. Like, you can create additional policies for operating systems and you can create groups, like subgroups. You can have like a master template effectively for what's required, and then you can create additional policies that will match that, and you can manipulate it even farther to again granulate the amount of security allowed for each different thing. They've done such a good job with this that I'm blown away that there's a free option, that there's a free tier for this. I understand it's only 5 accounts, but I feel like if you've got 10 users, 20 users, you've probably got enough. You can probably figure out a way. To cough up $100 a year per user to make this work. So it's a cool product. I really enjoy it. Bill says you did a very good job selling this, by the way. Very interesting product. Thank you for that. I'm definitely glad to know that I at least got the curiosity flowing with everybody who's here, who's been here, that sort of thing. I'm really excited about this. And service accounts is pretty cool. For example, automated process such as CI/CD pipelines and custom applications. There you go. It's just such a cool product that I hope you guys will take a look at. If you do, if you jump over there, let them know that I sent you. That'd be cool. If you guys post on social media, it'd be cool if you shared this live stream out there and tagged both me and Twingate. That'd be awesome. At least their blog from 2018 says they had no office or server presence in Europe. Okay, that's fair. But also take a look at this. But I will also look at Tailscope. Yeah, look, here's the thing. You don't have to just commit to one thing, I don't think. I think there are different things out there for different use cases. And I love this use case solution because I don't want to remember, what random other subnet did I create for a different provider to give myself access to this to this thing. We're gonna block that person. There we go. But anyway, yeah. So I'm glad you guys dig it. I hope I did a good job getting the curiosity flowing and wanting to. I hope you guys are interested in taking a look at this. I would love to know what your guys' thoughts are on this. I will probably at some point consider making just a dedicated video that's a bit more succinct than this last hour and 45 minutes. I agree. The peer-to-peer aspect seems very cool. Like you get their 2-part solution around it to do the authentication, and then it's a direct connect after that with the fallback just in case. I think they've done a really, really great job getting all of this to work. So kudos to them. I also want to thank Twingate for sponsoring this live stream. Again, I've tried to make sure that down in the bottom left-hand corner, left-hand corner, over right here, about every 3 minutes, there's going to be a thing. I don't think Twingate has a breakout. I was actually thinking about that it would be very cool if they had an exit node thing like Tailscale has. I don't know about Zero Tier, but I know Tailscale added an exit node kind of thing so that your home can kind of be a remote connection to the rest of the world for any number of reasons. But yeah, I will definitely consider a follow-up in maybe 2 to 3 weeks with a more, like I said, more succinct kind of just workflow process to getting all of this set up. Because again, we've been at this for an hour and 45 minutes. But yeah, no, I'm really, really happy with Twingate. When I've got people who need me to remotely access their stuff, the enterprise tier has a few extra features like exit networks. Cool. Thank you, Savag, for saying that. If you guys have enjoyed this live stream, it would be really, really cool if you would give it a thumbs up, at least over on the YouTube. I don't know. I don't know if Twitch has that. I always use the exit notes. My phone can always make use of the ad guard. There you go. I should really set something like that up for myself. I hate not being able to have ad guard on the go with me the way I like it. So that's, again, that is not Tailscale. That is Twingate. Too many words, too many services, too many technologies. But yeah, no, I want to thank you guys for joining and hanging out. I want to thank again Twingate for the opportunity to promote this for them and take a look at it and share it with you guys, because I think it's a cool product, and I hope you guys will go take a look at it. So yeah, again, links are in the description to this. Copy that. I'm gonna share this just so we've got it. We've got it in a couple of places there. If you want to take a look at that will give me an idea of the interest level here. But I think that covers everything I wanted to cover in this live stream. I want to thank Eric for joining us to make sure that I wasn't speaking completely out of my butt about some of these different things. I was glad he was here to solidify some of the answers that you guys had questions for. Thank you. You showed me a step that I missed. Mine going wrong. Now I can redo my setup today. That's awesome. I'm glad we were able to do that, Mr. Grey Wolf. Sometimes just seeing it from somebody else's perspective will change everything. I've had situations in the past where I've fought for days to get something set up, and then I'll see somebody else's video and I'm like, oh, I missed the dumbest thing there. And I'm not trying to call you out. I'm not trying to say you're dumb. I'm just saying that's been my experience. Or I've woken up in the middle of the night realizing what I did wrong, and of course can't go back to sleep until I go out to my computer and fix it. So yeah, I hope this was helpful for everybody. If you've got questions, definitely let me know. That'd be cool. Again, they've also got this cool thing. Again, it's in the video description on YouTube. But again, let me drop. Oops, let me find it. Let me find it over here. Twingate live stream description. Yeah. So Twingate. So we've got their security guide. I'm gonna share these links just so that you've got them. They've also got a Twitter. They've also got a Reddit community that you can join if you want to do that. And then they've got a weekly thing that they do. I'm going to actually go to this one. Oops, I'm going to share that one there and that one there. I'm actually going to bring this up because I'm kind of curious about that. So, if you're new to Twingate, they've got you covered. Join an onboarding session hosted by the Twingate team to learn tips, tricks, and best practices for deploying Twingate. And here we can see all of the upcoming things they've got here. So if you want to check out one of their onboarding workshops, so they did one March 5th. They've got one on the 12th, the 19th. I don't know what day that is. The 12th. It's Wednesday. Every Wednesday at 11 o'clock Pacific or 2 p.m. Eastern time. Do the math for where you are. Every Wednesday, they do one of these workshops to answer your questions in real time, kind of like what we're doing here. It's just their team doing it. So if you're ever curious, if you want more information, definitely check out one of these sessions that they've got every Wednesday. The VPN, yeah, so that's there if you also want to check that out. Twingate Office Hours is what they're calling it, live workshop. March 20th is also coming up. I guess that's a separate thing entirely. That'll be that'll be a Thursday, where you can take a look at Twingate Office Hours, Zero Trust Office Hours, Twingate. Yeah, ever wish you could pick a Twingate expert's brain? Here's your chance. Grab a virtual seat with Bren, our Director of Solutions Engineering, for a live and interactive workshop and office hours session. So they've always got some way to contact them, whether it's here, whether it's on Reddit. However, they're super wanting people to communicate with them, to ask them questions, to engage with them. Not only so that more people will use it, obviously, but also for situations like this earlier where somebody was like, hey, I really wish there was an opportunity to select a specific date, not just 30, 60, 90 days, but a specific date. They're going to take that back and talk about that and figure out a way to see if it makes sense on their end to do that. And I think that's a great idea. And I think these kinds of sessions that they're doing give them the opportunity to continue to do more of that kind of stuff, to not only offer their expertise, but take suggestions and things like that from the community. I love it. I love what Twingate's doing, and I hope you do too. So I think I'm just going to open up to questions at this point, primarily Twingate questions, because again, I think this is very cool. I would love to know if you guys have got questions, and maybe I can answer, or if I can't, we can go find it together as a community here. Because again, I can't express how excited I am about Twingate. So let me know. Let's get the questions going if you've got any. If not, that's perfectly acceptable as well. But yeah, I'm super stoked about this. It seems like a lot of you guys are as well. And it seems like a lot of you guys have also got other solutions that you use, and that's great also. But give this a look. See how it compares. See if there's anything that you would like to see, and maybe make that a suggestion to them when you jump on one of those open office hours or on Reddit or whatever the case is. So that was really bright. But yeah, okay then. Well, I think then with that said, do you know what kind of security rating or compliance Twingate has? I don't know. Let's find out. Twingate security compliance. Do desktop security docs. Let's take a look. Twingate security information for customers and prospective customers about Twingate security posture, practices, and processes. Introduction. Information security, responsibility and governance, employee background checks, contractual protections, offboarding employees. Like they're very transparent about this stuff, it seems. Data access, we provision user access based on the user role and the principle of least privileges. Access monitoring, we use Twingate and other logging systems to monitor access to various systems and access. That actually brings me back to this idea. Oops, because I sat there twiddling my thumbs for long enough. I get logged in. Sorry, there's actually something else I wanted to check there. Yeah, that was me. That's weird. That shouldn't have been like that. Continue. It kicked me out very quickly, because I wasn't doing anything, so it just kicked me out, which is great. Where was that? I'm trying to remember where. Wasn't there. Here we go. I bet it's over here. Yeah. Check it out. I know that the IP address of Collins' VM. Oh, no, connected to, right? My bad. Failed to connect. Yeah, that's when it kicked me out. Here we can see all of the different connections. I don't know why it was doing that, but it sure was. We're sure doing that a lot. I'm actually not going to show you this for just a second. I want to see. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I didn't want to accidentally dox Collins, but here we can see there's his email address. It's fine. He knows this is going to be on screen, but he can see the resources available to him, the groups that he's in, and what he accessed and when he accessed it. Right, like we can see all of that information in real time. And if we hover over like this resource right here, we can see more information about that. If we hover over this, it gives us a little pop-up there. We can manage roles. So yeah, we can see kind of who's doing what more or less in real time on this connection history yet. And I'm sure that this connection history here will generate later, probably on a cron or something similar. But here we can see all of this information down here. So very, very cool stuff. That was one of the other things I wasn't sure about because we didn't look. So anyway, Corey, I hope that kind of helps answer. Like, they're very transparent about their policies with this kind of stuff: data backups, data deletion, vendor management, device security, secrets management, server hardening, infrastructure redundancy, disaster recovery, physical security. They've got an SOC2 report, product security. As far as things like, they do pen testing requests, product architecture. I don't know as far as things like HIPAA compliance, right? Twingate for companies using HIPAA compliance. When your organization is responsible for handling sensitive information, health information, we understand the particular importance that you place on it. Okay, if your organization is regulated by HIPAA, whether it's covered by an entity, Twingate is able to support applicable HIPAA compliance requirements. They can do HIPAA. I know that's a US, I'm pretty sure that's just a US thing. I know other countries have similar things, but yeah, all of that is documented. You just got to go search for it. The InfoSec compliant process in 3 simple steps, where they talk about all of that kind of stuff. So hopefully, Corey, that answers your question. If not, they've got so much documentation and information here. If they have something like ISAE or ISO, they don't advertise it very well. Let's see, ISAE. Okay, I don't. Location list, ISO. They don't list that here, so I don't know. I'm using that for VPN, haven't felt it, switch to anything else. That's, sorry, Sam says, I've been using a pry tunnel. It took me a second to process what that word was. For years now, for VPN, haven't felt the need to switch to anything else. If they only support external auth services, maybe they don't need it. That possibly, that's fair. Yeah, so definitely dig through this. In their docs, you can just search for things, obviously, and get more information about this. Again, if you're not sure, you can just email them and get more information about that. You can also learn more about security measures they take at Twingate, and there's more about their security stuff we kind of looked at a minute ago. So again, lots of really, really good information on their site. If you've got questions that aren't answered via their docs, you can email them at privacy@twingate.com. I think that's what it was. Yeah, privacy@twingate.com to learn more information about Twingate, HIPAA, business associate agreements, that sort of thing, very, very easily. So, yeah, good question. I appreciate that. But yeah, I think for now, I think we're going to start wrapping this up. We've been at this a couple of hours. We've covered a lot. We went through the whole account creation process. We created networks. We gave remote access to people thousands of miles away from me with just a few clicks, and demonstrated that it works just that quickly and easily. And Dumpad was actually kind of a fun thing to do with that. So again, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, whether it's been the last few minutes or the last couple of hours. I've really, really enjoyed this. Again, probably going to do a follow-up video in the next few weeks. I'll probably try to work with Twingate on that one as well. We'll see how that goes, but super excited about this. It seems like a lot of you guys are as well. So thank you for liking, for subscribing, for the super chats. That's all been super amazing, super appreciated. So I think, again, with all that said, I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank Twingate for sponsoring this piece of content, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.